The new content is here. I've gone through my first day of playing it, and I want to share my thoughts. Hello everybody, I'm Roadblock. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. I'm very excited about the new update. I kind of made that clear in a recent video. Before we get to that, I'm going to do a few quick things here. Number one, I wanted to show some support for a recent video that I did on Siege. So for me, that was a couple of days ago. For you, it was the last video that I put out. I took a day off making a video the other day because I just was exhausted after what was essentially a very, very long day for me. So I just couldn't, I fell asleep early. I couldn't find the energy to record a video. And I apologize to you guys for that, but I know that you guys get it. I wanted to point out though, my Siege video, those videos don't get a lot of views, and I totally understand that, but I did want to kind of showcase a follow-up, if you will, of an example of how those strategies worked. Just real quick, just squeezing it into this video. I'm very sorry. Feel free to skip past this, but you can kind of see here where post 11 was locked down. Then they were like, okay, we'll try to go around. And post 13 was also locked down. And you can see they lost 11 times. And that's as far as they made it, right? Just for a little bit more, you know, we're tier 6, right? And this clan, no disrespect to this clan, by the way, guys. If any of you guys see this, I doubt it because your primary language is Spanish. But no disrespect to you guys, not trying to dog on you. It was a well-thought thing. But they are rank 689. And if we look at my clan, we're still greater than 1,000, right? So they're technically ranked way higher than us, and through our use of strategy, we were able to really hold our own and, you know, come away with a victory here. There are still 7 hours left. Maybe they're gonna, you know, blow it up and I wake up tomorrow morning and look like a fool. But I just wanted to point out real quick, you know, after making that Siege video, that these strategies do work. They don't always work. We've been completely swept and dominated in the past as well. So it goes both ways. But we're not necessarily here to talk about that. We are here to talk about Grim Forest. The reason I had to make that and throw that in there is because we don't always have Siege, right? I don't always have the evidence to show you guys that my strategies and my ideas kind of work. So I hope that those help you and your clan. I saw some very positive comments from the few people that did watch, so I appreciate that. But we're here to talk about the Grim Forest. Listen up, I just got a new promo link that you can use to follow along with me on my latest free-to-play adventure and get a free Elenaril, as well as 3 more powerful epics as you level up. Here's how to do it. Log out of Plarium Play and uninstall. Click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Launch Raid and complete the tutorial. Go to your inbox and claim your first champ. Don't miss out on your chance to get Elenaril right after signing up, as well as Fayne, Uugo, and Tagoar as you progress through Raid. Click on my link right now and let's crush this together. Okay. There's so much to talk about here, and as you'll see, probably not as far along as you. Well, why is that? 1, you're going to see this a day after I recorded it. And 2, I took that day off, right? I didn't play any Raid last night. I was just dead tired, man. Like, I came home late, way late, and just fell asleep. So, you know, stuff happens, no big deal, but here we are, showing off the hard stage here. Now, I did this just the first time today. I wanted to share a few of my thoughts and advice for you guys. You've probably seen a lot of what I'm going to say from other content creators, but I just kind of wanted to share that with you guys. So let's talk strategy. I'll show you my team decks here. Now, I went ahead with kind of what is the traditional mindset of damage dealers on one side, supports on the other. I don't think you need to necessarily do that. I've seen other content creators who have done it differently, where they've kind of split it up and they've kind of like paired champions together. I like that strategy as well. I made this before I saw that strategy, but I do like it. I do like the damage and the support separate sides. And the reason being is because you draw from each deck when you go into a fight. So you have a far greater chance of getting an even number of supports and an even number of damage dealers. One interesting thing too is that your damage dealers, you know, you wouldn't think like a Crizia would be good for wave clear, you know? Sometimes she can, especially if they have really high HP. She'd do enemy max HP. And the waves, at least so far, haven't been like crazy tough where I won't be able to get through them unless I have, you know, my Trunda or my Harima. So it's been pretty cool, pretty fun. I've enjoyed every bit of the content. And I'll say it again. I said this when I reviewed the content, that I love this form of limiting my roster, right? That's the biggest threat that's the biggest, sorry, what's the word I'm looking for? It's the biggest hurdle in creating fun and interesting content in Raid, is being able to limit the roster, right? Especially when you have people out there with every mythical under the sun, they're all +4. What are you really going to do to stop that, right? How are you going to prevent them from completely decimating the content that you put out there? So I love this form of balancing it out and kind of evening things out so that you're not punishing me for having necessarily a smaller roster in a specific faction or a specific affinity, but you're punishing my overall roster, and I think that's fair. This content isn't meant for people that are brand new to the game. You won't even have access to it. When you do get up there, you'll probably have to take some pretty weak champions, but it's going to encourage you to build more champions, which I love as well. The other versions of this type of thing, like Curse City, has you build very specific champions if you even want to do that room, and you can just say, I will skip where here, maybe you need a couple more healers, right? On my free to play, which we'll take a look at maybe in this video, I have some champions that would be really good supports that I haven't built because I don't want to waste the resources for them to only be good in one area of the game. I would just rather kind of wait until I get something a little bit better. Well, now they might be able to fill an empty slot here in my deck. So I think it's a really cool concept. I absolutely love it. But yeah, I went more so with the supports on this side and damage dealers on this side. I actually kind of started to run out of slots. I probably should have used more epics, and we'll get to that. Well, you know what? Let's talk about that now. So general strategy about kind of what I was building. I just wanted my top damage dealers, the ones that I would use in PvP for wave clear and the ones that I would use to take care of bosses. So I've got Newt, Acrizia, Ninja, right? Marius. All of those are going to be kind of my boss, just Newt damage dealers. And then I have like wave clear, in the form of Harima, Trunda. I did throw in Tholin because he is a dwarf, and I do have Admiral and Senna in there. So, if I get lucky, and that's a big if, but I could have a 5 dwarf team in some situations. So, but yeah, I kind of balanced it out. I think there were definitely some mistakes that I made my first time through. This is really on this particular account, this is really my only heal reduction champion that I really run on a regular basis. But Venomage is a good option for that. You should run more than one, but at least one heal reduction champion. If I had a better one, I would. But yeah, you want to have at least one because I think it's the Mimic has crazy healing. Now, for me personally, I'm still early in it, and I've been able to brute force the Mimic. One of my big strategies has actually been using Senna because I get so much turn meter with Senna. It's insane. And I can just overpower. I could just cycle so many turns through that it's a non-issue for me. So that was one way that I did it. And I used that same strategy in some of the other boss fights. So let's talk about some of the early boss fights that I've done so far. We'll start with the Mimic. So like I said, with the Mimic, it does have a really good healing ability, and you can see that I used Senna and we just powered through it. There's no heal reduction in this. I just brute forced my way through it. That was level 275. This one was a little easier at 225. So no Senna here, but I do get a ton of turn meter from Necmo Thar. And again, I was just able to brute force it, bringing a lot of damage to kill the copycat treasure that they spawn to get my champion back, but also to reduce the healing and such. So those were my strategies early on. I know it's going to get harder, and I will need very specific champs to get through it as the game goes on. So what else? Oh yeah, this guy. So Phrygius, I think. I don't remember how to pronounce this guy's name, but this guy was really interesting. What's kind of the general way that he does damage? He builds up these gold stacks on himself, and when you break one, you get a bunch of damage done to yourself. Again, so far, was relatively easy for me. That doesn't mean that it will continue to be easy, but Senna made a big difference. So the first time I went through, I barely passed 4 million damage. By the way, you can run this repeatedly and without costing your energy. So I used a redraw token on it. I got Senna as an option, and then I just put her in and then put my best champions around it. The Senna Androck combo is really good because that's a lot of turn meter, and these are just the most reasonable damage dealing champions that I have. Senna is just built very strong, full protection set. So, you know, she's just tanky, strong, and fast. So really, really happy with the way that went. Blew him up, just kind of forced my way through everything that he brings to the table. And that was that. And I got a pretty easy 20 million. Now, I didn't do great. It was close. It wasn't like 100 million or anything. I was probably at like 22 million or something. It was very close. But I managed to squeeze that out and was really happy with that. So Senna is a cheat code in this game. She's very, very good. I was just exploring. I'm not looking at optimal routes, other game plans, anything like that. I'm just like, you know, oh, look, I see a treasure. I'm going to go grab that. And then I'll be like, oh, well, oh, look, there's another treasure. I'll go grab that. And I was just kind of like going to what I thought looked fun. I'm not necessarily concerned with the optimal route or optimal pacing or timing or anything like that. I just really want to have fun. I do want to talk about some of the things that I'm maybe perhaps not so excited about. So first things first, I don't like the energy system. I get that they need to limit how far I can progress in a day or even a month. I just found it to be a little bit frustrating that I would like to have. I just, you know, I didn't get to play it on the first day because I had real life issues. And I know that Raid wants people to be able to play it. I wish almost that maybe you could bank your energy, you know, or even just, I really don't know the best way to do it, to be honest. It's just frustrating. And at the end of the day, I'm just salty because I did not have the energy to get on this computer and play this game last night. And I feel like I suffered. And what if I don't have enough energy to complete the whole event? That's going to be frustrating. And I hate that I'm being forced to potentially play every single day. That's not the case with other content like this. That's not the case with Doom Tower. I have more than enough keys to get all the way through it. Same thing with Curse City. I have, you know, I usually am done with 2 weeks of Curse City left and not playing because I've beaten all the areas that I could possibly beat. So, hopefully I will have more than enough energy to fully look and explore the whole map and really get a feel for it. But it is something that is frustrating, and I just want to make sure that I vocalize that and be honest with what the concerns or the things that are challenging for me on that level. So the other thing that is a little weak for me, and I hope that they have a plan and they have room to build and grow on this, but it is a little bit weak, this kind of system. So I mentioned Slay the Spire. That is my go-to roguelike game that I absolutely love. And there are so many crazy things. There are so many powerful things. And from what I'm seeing, there doesn't really look like anything that can kind of tip the scales. Like, part of the reason that I play games like that is to get like a ridiculous run. Like, you just get super lucky at the beginning and then you just build off of that strength and you become overpowered. That's fun for me, right? Like, yes, it's RNG based, but it's like, dude, I got that early? Let's go, man. And then you're just so hyped and you get to play off it. So I just wish that it was a little bit cooler in a sense. Some of these curios and the cards, trait cards, because really it's just stat boosting at the end of the day, right? I would like cool ability or something like that. Now, we do have some of those. I want to be clear, right? Where is it? The hypnotic statuette, the random stun that comes in from nowhere. That's really cool. But the rest of this stuff, like this one, Netherbite Knife sounds really cool as well, because you get enemy max HP damage on specific turns taken. I think that sounds really cool. I like the Hawk Talon Ruby as well, because you decrease their HP, but that one is just stats. Again, like I want something that like does something kind of crazy, and that that would be really cool to get early, would be just, you know, like adds a cool move, maybe something that like, oh, makes bosses susceptible to turn meter or something. This allows you to stun a boss, or like, I don't know, maybe those are too extreme, but you guys kind of get the vibe that I'm going for, where it's like, you know, something very special it can do other than just raising and lowering stats. Like I want a free ability or something along those lines. For example, if you could find a curio that places heal reduction, I mean, that would be probably the go-to one for everybody. But then, of course, what's the point of deck building if you don't need to bring certain types of champions, but maybe it's a very difficult one to get and there's no guarantee, and you have to explore and explore and explore, and finally you find one, and now you can go back and do all the mimics that blocked your path. I don't know. These are just thoughts that I'm throwing out there. I just think that it would be cool to see a few different unique features to this, and perhaps they will expand and build upon those ideas as this area develops and grows. But just raw stats isn't always what I'm looking for. So I hope that there will be more to come. I am hopeful that this zone will grow and develop new features and cool stuff outside of just like, yeah, here's a whole bunch more stats, guys. So, but yeah, those are kind of my thoughts. Let me know what your thoughts are so far. Like people in my clan and everything, people have been pretty excited about this and enjoying it quite a bit. I'm definitely enjoying it. I do like the deck feature. Again, it makes me think outside the box, but it doesn't put me in a box that I just can't find a solution to. So really, really excited about the Grim Forest. How far are you guys progressing? Are you enjoying it? I haven't touched it on my free-to-play yet. That'll probably happen after this video. So, and I'm probably going to stick to normal for now. I don't know that I have a roster deep enough to do hard. So yeah, well, thank you all so much for watching. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. It is the best way to support my channel, and I look forward to seeing all of you in the next video. Take care.